Hey, welcome back to Roll Through the Blog. I'm really excited about this episode. I get to show you how to make our family's gumbo recipe. I can't take 100% credit for it because I originally was introduced to the recipe by Emma Lagasse's cookbook called Real and Rustic, okay? And it's about 20 years old. I got it from my father, and it has a gumbo recipe in there for the chicken and sausage gumbo. I have actually taken it and modified it over the years. I've added stuff like garlic and tomatoes and some other things. Okay, so we've made it our own, basically. And then the other recipe I take from this to make this gumbo is what's called his rustic rub. Okay, it's basically a combination of spices, everything from cayenne to salt to pepper to garlic powder, onion powder to dried thyme to oregano. Okay, and it's like a Pappy's, okay, but I think way better in my opinion. You should try to make it, okay. You can also check those recipes out, not only in his cookbook, but on Food Network, right? Or you check them out on our blog as well. They're posted on there. Okay, now the most important part to the gumbo is what's called a roux. It's what's equal parts of flour and fat, okay, in this case we use vegetable oil, and that's cooked over between a 15 to 30 minute time period, okay. Now I'm not going to show you that for this video, but you can check that video out to how to make the roux for the gumbo on our blog. You actually can do a search for it, check it out, and learn how to do that, because you got to have that gumbo, okay, you got to have that for the gumbo, okay, rather. Okay, so let's get started with what we're working with here. Now, remember that rustic rub I told you about? We've used that to season up some chicken, okay? So we've got some chicken that we've got marinating in that rustic rub, okay? I'm just taking a whole chicken and cut it up, but you could obviously just, buy a pre-cut chicken, but bone in probably the best to make this gumbo with, okay? I've got a Dutch oven, okay, to have some vegetable oil that it's at the bottom of it. I'm going to have it turned to medium heat to preheat this. I've got some smoked sausage, some green bell pepper, some carrot, some celery, okay? And then at the end, we're going to use green onions and some parsley, okay? We're also going to use some of this tomato paste, okay? Okay? In the gumbo. I'm sorry, it's a big debate in Louisiana whether you use tomatoes or not. I like the tomatoes in my gumbo, so I'm going to use it. Hey, it's your recipe, right? So if you're making it, do whatever you want. Anyway, so I've also got some more of that rustic rub spice in here, some more salt, some dried basil, dried oregano, and dried thyme. Okay, just a little bit extra to kick it up. Okay, I've got the whole tomatoes. Okay, I've got the roux that we talked about. It's like dark chocolate, which is what you want, okay, for this. And then we've got the filet powder, which is made from sassafras. It's one of the key ingredients you use at the very end. You got to have it. Thank you, Auntie Marilyn, for this. Thank you for picking it up in Louisiana for us. We really appreciate that, okay? So, now, at this point, we can start browning the sausage, okay, in the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to take it out and brown the chicken, and we're going to show you that process right here. Okay, so now I want you to see what has happened with browning up the sausage. I want you to see how dark it's become, okay? And I want you to see the brown bits at the bottom of the pan, okay? I think that's key, because I think that's going to add another whole layer of flavor to your gumbo that you wouldn't get if you just tried to put these sausages in, okay, without doing this, okay? That's just my opinion. So next, we're going to take the sausages out now, let them drain on a paper towel or a paper bag, and then we're going to brown the chicken. Okay, so I want you to see what's happening here, because most people would think that this is burnt. Most people think that the burning the bottom of the pan. However, you're not burning the bottom of the pan, okay? This is all the flavors that we're going to need to incorporate into this gumbo, okay? So I want you to check this out. I want you to see how dark the bottom of the pan is, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to flip the rest of this chicken, and then we're going to deglaze the pan by adding all these veggies to it, okay? So I want you to see what I'm going to do here. I want you to see how brown this chicken is. It's crazy. Okay? Check it out. I took a first, sorry about that. I took a first batch off earlier, okay? And then I've got the second batch, which is the last batch, that's browning up. But see how dark the bottom of that pan is. Most people think they're burning it. You're not burning it, okay? As long as you are going to deglaze it, we'll be good to go, okay? So we're going to show you that process right here. Okay, so now I have added the roux into the veggies that we had in there. It looks really dark, right? It's crazy, right? Now we're going to add the tomatoes into it at this point. Okay. On high heat. We're going to add the sausage back into it. All that sausage. Okay. Add the chicken back into it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Alright. All those juices. Add them in. Okay. And now we're going to cover this with the chicken stock. You can use water just as well, but I have chicken stock. I'm going to use it, but I need to use it. If it's going to be perfect. Okay. So we got that going on. Wow. So now we're going to let this gumbo simmer for about an hour and a half, okay? And then we're going to serve it over some steamed rice with some green onion and some parsley and a sprinkle of filet powder, okay? Very important. You have to have this on your gumbo, okay? But that's all there is to gumbo. But this chicken's gonna be nice and tender. It's starting to shred in there, and it's all gonna incorporate together. And this will feed a small army, okay? And you can also freeze it in a Ziploc, gallon Ziploc bag, and freeze it and have it at a later time too, which is great to have. Okay, so thank you for joining us on Real Food Blog. We'll see you next time right here on Real Food Blog.